What's going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Blazers Uprise post-game show presented by Sleeper. Today, the Portland Trail Blazers got dominated by Jarrett Allen, and they lose their fifth straight game, 130 to 111. Another game in which the Blazers simply didn't care to take care of the basketball. Another game where they give up too many points, too many buckets, especially to Jarrett freaking Allen. And the Blazers lose again. They're now 4 games below 500, but on the bright side, at least they're active in the trade market. Finally addressing their shooting need today. Unfortunately, he couldn't play today because the Blazers could have used more shooting in this game. And the Blazers still, it sounds like they have moves coming. So today's stream, we're going to recap the game. Maybe in less than 30 minutes. I don't really want to talk about this game for more than 30 minutes, and then we'll talk about the fun stuff. We'll talk about the trades. We'll talk about the Giannis rumors. We'll talk about the Crerache trade. I'm trying to say his name right. And we'll get into all
Denny
that fun
All-Star.
stuff. Denny All-Star. Like, there's some fun stuff. Blake Wesley returned today. That'll be part of the recap. He actually looked solid. Looked like one of our best players on the floor today. Scoot Henderson also sounds like he could return any game now. So I guess there's a lot of positives, but none of them really had anything to do with this particular basketball game because this basketball game sucked, Eric.
Yeah, it was terrible. So Blazers once again come out completely flat in the first quarter. Just seemed like they were completely uninterested in playing a basketball game. And it's been frustrating, this losing streak, to continue to watch them come out and dig themselves in a big hole. They try to get out of it, but it's too late against they've been playing some decent teams other than the Wizards lately, and you're not gonna come back very often against teams when you find yourself down by 24 early in the first half and have to continually scrap to come back. And they show some life in the fourth quarter, but come on, like this team needs to play at that level, like a desperation type, everything on the line every game, or they're just not going to win many of these games, especially with missing more guys tonight, even though we got some back. But it shouldn't take Blake Wesley coming into the game to be your only like spark of energy. Like it was really sad and pathetic how lazy, just flat out lazy this team was in this game. And man, I am so sick. It's part coaching, part players' fault too, but like this offense, man, Tori, it's bugging the crap out of me, dude. They're just it was just like, here, Jeremy, you take a turn driving while the other 4 guys just freaking stand around the 3-point line, not even moving, and just watching him try to take a guy off the dribble. Here, Shaedon, you try now while you have an extra defender shaded over towards you so you can't drive. Man, it's just, that's all that's happening. And what are we doing? Why do we not have some sort of set or structure we can go to get a basket or to get guys moving off ball when we're freaking just standing around and the energy is completely gone? How many times are we going to start a game 4, 5, 6 minutes into a game where we have 6 points until something changes and we try to restructure something or run some different sets or something? And to me, this is when we come back at the end of the season and we look at this season in totality and try to determine if splitters should be considered for and the rest of this coaching staff should be kept around past this season. I think you have to look to this stretch where we are doing absolutely nothing to change things. And in fact, we're playing right into our weaknesses by continuing to run zone on defense. It's lazy, and it leads to wide open baskets, players getting mismatched on defense, our centers being out on the corners and not in the paint. It's leading to more rebounding problems when we already have rebounding problems. And it's ridiculous that we just have to sit here and watch it happen, like knowing the script, and nothing's being done to change the script. I cannot believe we're talking about all these same things like they didn't work on anything since the last game.
Yeah, well, chat, we're going to involve you a bit more in this stream, all right? For those of you that tune in for brutal losses like this, we appreciate you, so we're going to involve you more. The first step in that, for me, is I want to see the first person to name the issue that I brought up with the way the Blazers' motion offense is structured. I brought this up early in the season, and we are seeing this issue play out to max effect right now, especially without Denny Avdia, especially with him not being 100%. We're seeing it play out to max effect. So I'll give a shout out to the first person in the chat to bring that up. And wow, you try and take a guess. I mean, honestly, it shouldn't be a guess. It's a pretty clear issue in my opinion. But before we get to that, let's look at the team stats. The ugly, ugly team stats. I'm so tired of the freaking turnovers. 23 turnovers for the Blazers. 23 turnovers. They had 24 assists. The turnovers, the three-point shooting, you know, they shoot 7 more field goals than the Cavs. They shot 7 less free throws, but a field goal is worth 2 or 3 points. A free throw is worth 1, right? So in terms of shot attempts, you got more. You got 7 more offensive rebounds. Like, that's kind of the crazy thing with all this is you got more shot attempts despite the turnover issues, which is just kind of a very strange anomaly in this box score. But you got offensive rebounds, you got more shots, you just didn't shoot well enough, and you can't play defense. You give up 55% from the field, 47% from 3, and you can't defend Jarrett Allen. Donovan Clingan got absolutely cooked today. Absolutely cooked. I am starting to worry a little bit about Donovan Clingan. I'm just praying it's just a sophomore slump. You know, we've seen sophomore slumps hit players before, but oh my goodness, this dude does not look the same. This dude does not look the same. He comes out here, he can't defend a post-up. He defends a post-up like he's 6'8", and he's 7'2". He had a couple impressive blocks today where it was like, oh, there's the Donovan Clingan I know. But it was against like Larry Nance Jr. When Jarrett Allen was in the game, Jarrett Allen tortured him. And it was so disheartening to watch. Jarrett Allen's final stat line in this game. A career high 40 points. 17 rebounds, including 6 offensive. 5 assists with no turnovers. 4 blocks, 2 steals. That was Jarrett Allen's stat line tonight. That was maybe a more shocking game than whatever Brook Lopez did to us earlier in the season when he made 9 threes. Because we know he can shoot threes. Jarrett Allen, 40 points in 30 minutes? You're that soft on the interior with Donovan Clingan and Robert Williams III that you let Jarrett Allen go off for 40 freaking points. 16 for 23 from the field. That's inexcusable. Dude, I could have not watched this game and I would sit here and say, I don't need to watch this game. It is inexcusable for that guy to put up 40 points against 2 bigs that are supposed to be good defensive players. I don't care how it happened. That's just completely inexcusable. And it's soft. I don't know what's wrong with Clingan, man. We've been talking about it a lot. I'm starting to get worried. I was expecting much, much better than this. And the thing is he was playing really well earlier in the season. He was finishing around the rim. He was going up strong around the rim. Now he forgot how to do that outside of that dunk he had in the second half. It's like he woke up for a second. I don't know if he's in his own head or if he's not 100%. I have no idea what it is. Maybe it's, the minutes that he's playing this year all adding up and getting to him. He's never played this much. I have no idea what's up with him, man. But to let Jarrett Allen cook you like that, that was the number one issue with this game. And there's many issues with this game that we're going to get to. I'll read through the comments to see if you guys guessed my issue with the offense. But Eric, 40 freaking points for Jarrett freaking Allen.
Yeah, see, this is my problem and why it's so frustrating for me watching, and for all of you, I'm sure too. It's just like we're getting punked by this dude. He's just absolutely abusing and cooking us. And here we are, just okay. Well, here he goes again. Here's another bucket from him. Here's another bucket from him. Here's another bucket. Like, do something about it. Like, geez, get mad, foul him hard or something. Like, like don't be dirty, but like make him earn a basket at the free throw line or something. Clingan, I don't know what he finished with, but he wasn't in foul trouble or anything at that point. It really seems to me, like I'm trying to remember how long ago this was. Roughly about a month ago, we were talking about how Klingan's playing with like an attitude. He's got like a feistiness to him. He's got like an edge. And that's something that the Blazers really needed, and we're kind of like thriving, and it was like contagious. Like it was something that was badly needed. And now it's back to just like, oh, this is just another dude who's getting worked on this team, and no one's doing anything to fix it. And it's just, man, it's frustrating. It's like, and then like I don't know, during that same time frame, he was doing a much better job of finishing. He was getting offensive rebounds and going right back up with it. He was doing that dunk you talked about. Like he was doing that at least once a game where he was getting the ball under the hoop, and instead of kicking out, he was looking to score, and he was powering it up, and he looked confident doing it, and it was going well. And now his body language is completely off. Every time he like there's a timeout or a free throw or something, it looks like he's limping around the court. And so maybe it's as simple as that. Like the minutes adding up, and his body's not 100%, and he doesn't know how to try. He's trying to battle through it, but it just maybe it's just causing him to be a little slow, and it's hurting his confidence because he's not getting to shots defensively as quick, and he's not able to finish around the hoop because he's I mean, he already can't really jump super well. So um if he's got a lower leg injury that's causing him to not, and I'm not trying to make excuses for him, but it's it's one thing to like have this be like, if this was who Donovan Clingan was most of the season, I'd be right there with you in chat, like being really worried about it long term. But we've seen flashes of him being a dominant center this year and being completely fine. So like I'm more of the opinion that there's just something matter with him. There's just some sort of funk. We heard Denny has some personal thing going on. Drew misses tonight because of personal reasons. Like something's going on with this team, it seems like. And once again, this is not excuse because the effort level was pathetic tonight, and it's unacceptable that they're playing this way. Especially after losing 4 straight, you're coming back home. You need to have a game where you look like you actually want to win, and we didn't get that tonight. But all those things are just to say I'm not I don't think Clingan like sucks at basketball and is never going to be our starting center, and this is why we drafted Young Hansen, because we need eventually Young to be better than Clingan or whatever, like chat saying. That none of that stuff is true, man. None of that stuff is true. We are fine. We have our long-term starting center. He's just not playing well right now. I fully believe that he will learn from this and be better. If it's like a tired or injury thing, obviously as the years go on, he's going to hopefully improve that. We did see him come into the season in tremendous shape. Like I've said many times, it seems like he's gotten bigger and slower as the season goes on, which is weird, especially with all the minutes he's playing. But to me, I'm still not worried about Clingan being the answer long term at center, like a lot of other people seem to be after just a few games of bad play.
I don't know if I'm at all worried about like being the long term answer, but I'm worried about how bad it looks right now.
But it didn't look that bad a few weeks ago. So like I don't like we know that he's not this bad of a player.
But we don't know what's going on. Like, if it came out tomorrow, oh, he's been playing through like a really tough injury, and I'd be like, okay, that makes sense. All right, hopefully he can get healthy soon. Like, all right, fine. But without knowing A, why this is happening, and then B, how bad it looks right now, it's just strange, and like some of it seems mental. I mean, it's not. He's not playing like he forgot how to play basketball. He's just playing super soft, and he had that stretch earlier in the season where he was like finishing around the rim, but like he struggled with that last year, and he's struggling with it now. Like, hopefully this isn't something that continues to plague him. Some centers it does. I mean, just look at Yusuf Nurkic, right, with some of his finishing issues around the rim. Different type of big, but Nurk always kind of struggled to be consistent with finishing around the rim, and he'd have stretches where he just was pretty dang inefficient for a big man. Clingan right now, I mean, he's shooting a lot of threes each game, but just like he just doesn't go up strong. He's taking long to gather the ball. But the defensive stuff too. Why can't he defend a post up? Why can't he defend anybody that puts their body into him? Unless it's Larry Nance Jr. shooting the ball from his hip. Like, I don't understand that. Even if he was dealing with an injury, I still don't fully understand that. I'm just very confused by him right now. So, I don't know what to think. It's just obviously not at the level that he was playing at earlier this season. This obviously is not who he is. He's probably in between the 25% three-point shooter he is now and the 50% three-point shooter he was last month, right? Like, he's probably like 30, 32%. On the season, I think he's like right around 30%. So, he's not as bad as he's playing right now. He was probably overachieving a little bit earlier in the year, potentially. He had a good stretch. Like, there's ebbs and flows to a season for any player, but I don't really know what to make of him. It's just strange. It's just strange because even if you're not 100%, Jarrett Allen has never done this against anybody. He's never ever done this against anybody ever in his entire career. I don't know. How long has he been in the league? 7 years? He's never done this. But it happens against Clingan. With how bad Clingan's been playing lately. I don't understand it. It's pretty inexcusable and inexplicable to me. So he needs to get right because this defense, if Clingan cannot be a good defensive big, this defense sucks. And we've seen this defense be terrible lately during this 5-game losing streak because Clingan's not really a presence right now. And he's obviously not a perimeter defensive big. But I don't think he just lost that. I don't know. I think there has to be a further explanation. But I have no idea. I have no idea, man.
And we might never know. Like, Clingan seems like the type of person who won't let that be an excuse. So, but he definitely lost his fire. I mean, he showed it a little bit in the fourth quarter when you're making a comeback, but that's the way he was playing like 100% of the time for a while, like a month ago.
You can't just show that fire when you're playing well.
Right.
You have to be that guy all the time.
Yeah. Yep. And this team needs to be that team all the time. They can't have these stretches where they don't show any of the fire. It wasn't just Clingan tonight. It was like the whole starting lineup. Like I said, Blake Wesley comes in and all of a sudden he made some plays just with his pushing the ball up the court and looking like he cared. He was flying around on defense. And but like, I mean, you shouldn't have someone that just missed several months like come back and be your only guy showing that in a game where you just lost 4 in a row and you need to like have a game where you guys come out at home and feed off the energy. And man, they're just very disappointing tonight to watch their effort level.
It annoyed me when they were talking about, like, this team doesn't quit, They could have quit, but they came back to only be down 10. It's like, okay, yeah, they had a stretch where they played hard. Cool, they tried. Kumbaya. Like, That stuff drives me crazy. They should be playing that hard the entire game. It shouldn't just be like, oh, they had a bit of a comeback because they started playing hard. They didn't give up. You should be proud of them type of energy. I can't stand that. It's too inconsistent with their effort for them to sit here and claim we're a high-effort team, we play with energy, etc.
Did you hear they just played on Friday and had to come back in a 6-hour flight and all that stuff. Do they not realize that they had 3 days off before that New York game on Friday? Like they have played. This is their second game since Tuesday, and the broadcast is on there like they played 9 games in 10 days or something and are completely exhausted. Yeah. Like it's ridiculous.
They were laying it on thick with the excuses today. I'm not buying. I'm not buying at all. So
also, can I just mention something real quick while we're talking about this? Every single Blazer media, credentialed media, tweeted out earlier that Rob Will was playing, Blake Wesley was going to make his return, and that Denny was most likely going to play or probably going to play.
That was based off what Tiago said.
Yeah, but then he doesn't play, right?
Yeah.
We have Drew out for personal reasons tonight. I don't know. There's something weird going on. I mean, obviously, Denny went through stuff and it wasn't like, he tried to warm up and it wasn't good or whatever. But like, I don't know. It just something's going on, man. I don't think it's trade related. But like, it just, I don't know. It's just like too many things are happening with the roster and the injuries and stuff like that. It's just really weird.
I think the simplest assumption is Denny maybe tweaked it slightly, trying to warm up, so then he sat when he thought he was going to play, and like Drew's dealing with something personal, like that's my guess. I mean, there's been a lot of weird stuff all season long with availability and stuff, but who knows what Drew's dealing with? I'm not even gonna really speculate. Like,
we have no idea.
Like, we'll never know, and we probably should never know. But yeah, it's frustrating how much unknown and weird stuff happens around this basketball team. For the question that I asked you guys earlier, I wanted to see if anybody explained this the way I'm about to explain it. Unfortunately, I didn't see a comment like that, so maybe this will sound new to you or it'll jog your memory. So earlier in the season, do you remember when I complained about the offense being too dependent upon the dribble drive to spark any and all movement off the ball? Do you remember that, chat? I guess that's fine when you have the league leader in drives per game, by far, in Denny Avdia. But this is why the offense looks like such a mess without him. Because without having somebody driving literally 20 times per game to spark all the movement, they get stuck in quicksand in the half court. They get stuck watching Jeremy Grant go one-on-one, and Jeremy Grant doesn't turn the corner, and then Jeremy Grant's shooting a tough shot. He never forced the defense to rotate. He's not going to see a cutter. Same thing with Shaedon Sharpe. He shot a lot of terrible mid-range shots, in my opinion, in this game. He knocked down 2 in a row in the second half, but there were some looks where he really settled for the mid-range jumper today. You have nobody that you can rely on to do what Denny does, which nobody in the league drives as much as Denny does. And this is the flaw with the offense, is that when you don't have Denny Avdia on the floor, you're too reliant upon Shaedon Sharpe or Jeremy Grant to break things down, spark movement, and then consistently make the right read. Both of those guys are scorers. They're not passers. They're not playmakers for others. They're not well-rounded in that regard. And the thing is, that shouldn't be this much of a problem. That shouldn't be this much of a problem. But because of the way the offense is structured, when you have a game like this, when you have 2 scorers leading the way offensively, it results in a lot of the ball finds their way to him because somebody has to attack this defense, and it's not going to be Ryan Rupert consistently. So the ball has to find their way to them, and then they have to break down the defense and then make the right read. And that's why the offense looks so bad. That's why there's so many turnovers. Like, they're stuck in quicksand in the half court. That's also why when Blake Wesley came in and started sprinting the ball up the floor, getting 2 feet into the paint and then looking for other guys, like, all of a sudden it starts looking a little bit easier offensively. When they went on that run to cut it to 10, it was because they had multiple transition opportunities in a row. City Sissoko sparked a couple of them. But the half-court offense, without Denny Avdia, is a complete mess. Part of it's because Denny is really, really good, but part of it is this offense is reliant upon having a player with that specific skill set that drives as much as Denny does, scores as much as he does out of it, and passes as much as he does out of it. It is able to draw the defense and then find the cutter, create the gaps for other guys once the ball's kicked out. I've talked about this a lot, but it's just a flaw in the structure of the offense, and they have shown no ability to be able to adapt off of it in a way where they have a good game plan for the roster at hand in a game like this.
And this is where like shooting will come in and help a little bit. Like the trade they made today, like we talked about, will help this. But with their current shooters, and when Denny's not playing, you cannot just expect the other team or our lineup out there to be able to break down the defense. And all it took was Cleveland shading over an extra defender and basically leaving someone wide open. And we had no ability to drive in this game, and it completely shut us down. And all we had to counter was, okay, I'll just pass it to someone else, and he'll try to drive on the same exact defense. And it's just pretty pathetic. And yeah, we've known all season that this kind of defense can't work long term. If you're pushing the ball up consistently and creating advantages, it can work a little bit, even if depending on, like, you might not need the best personnel, like you mentioned with City Sissoko being able to, and Blake Wesley in this game being able to create some opportunities just from pushing it. So if you have that, it's fine, but you can't continue to run a fast-paced offense that's reliant on creating advantages through the drive when you have no ability to drive from anyone in the game, and you're not setting a lot of on-ball screens. And man, it's really sad. I mean, you shouldn't be counting dribble handoffs as an on-ball screen either, because that's not creating any advantage at all. So it's been that way for a long time, and like you mentioned, it's why the offense struggles without Denny, and it's perplexing to me that they're continuing to try and jam this peg into a hole that doesn't fit. And it's same with the zone defense, right? It's like they continue to do this stuff that is not working, and yet it seems like they're just expecting it at some point to start working, or you're just gonna, like, because we've heard that excuse all year, like once we get our guys back, we'll be fine. And as we've gotten different players back, it hasn't looked any different, because that's not the problem. And until the coaching staff realizes that and makes some sort of adjustment on it on both ends, it's going to be really tough to overcome.
Yeah, the motion offense needs to be a part of your offense, not the foundational piece for your offense. Because the problem is they've established it as the foundation of their entire offense. They rely on it too much, and they don't have enough they can turn to in games like this where they don't really have the personnel to run a motion offense 80% of the time. Mm-hmm. Right? They have to get more creative and add more, because I think it would be good even if you have a healthy team to have more wrinkles to the offense. But it's like they have a stretch where they win a lot of games where they're shooting the ball well. a little bit better than normal. Donovan Clingan has a month. Well, I guess that was last month, and they played well this month. But, Donovan Clingan was hitting threes the first few games of the year, and Denny was playing like a superstar, and you're making threes, and other teams aren't. And, yeah, everything looks great then. But teams weren't going to keep shooting as poorly as they were from three against us. And you saw it tonight. The Cavs shoot, 47%? From three? Yeah, 47% from three. You shoot 32. But it's just the turnovers. Like, the turnovers are a direct symptom of what I'm talking about. It's a direct symptom. There's so many silly turnovers where guys have no idea what they're doing. That, to me, shows that this roster that was on the floor tonight needs more structure. They need more structure where the reads are kind of laid out a little bit more for them, all right? If you got this cutter slipping the screen, you hit him. Otherwise, you hit the guy coming off the screen. If he's denied, he back cuts, another guy comes to the ball, right? Like 1, 2, 3. Not, all right, everything's live and fluid and random, and you just have to read the situation within its fluidity in a split second, right? Because Shaedon Sharpe and Jeremy Grant aren't guys that are particularly good at doing that. Denny can, but Sharpe can't. Jeremy can't. You go down the list of guys, like Drew Holiday the past couple of games was terrible in that regard. Sidney Sissoko's not going to do that. Ryan Repair's not going to do that. Shoot, the guy I trust most to do that played tonight is Caleb Love, okay? Which part of that, I guess, is a credit to Caleb Love, but part of that is kind of the point that I'm talking about. You don't have a good enough personnel to run the type of offense that they're running that's just kind of random and then try and make reads and split-second decisions on the fly. So that's why they have so many silly mistakes, because they're trying to make these decisions very quickly as scorers, as guys that this isn't their strong suit, and they get sped up, and they make a silly play. They throw a pass to somebody that's not even there anymore, like Shaedon Sharpe did today. You know what I mean? Like, it's a pure symptom of this exact issue. So if they can't get Denny back 100% or trade for somebody that can lead this type of offense, they are going to finish the year bottom 10 in the league offensively. They're already bottom 10 in the league offensively. So.
Yep. And, Jalen Tyson had a really good game, finishes with 18 points.
Yeah.
So he didn't score a lot in that first quarter, but he absolutely sliced up our defense. And, not many people noticed it because Jarrett Allen was was going off, and he was largely responsible for getting the ball to Jarrett Allen on a lot of plays, but he was catching a swing pass and attacking the defense. And that's exactly what our offense is completely predicated on, is having guys being able to do that. And he was doing exactly what we need someone in our offense to do. And it just kept, every time he got the ball, he was getting by a defender and getting into the middle of the paint or to the baseline and having a nice dump off or kick out pass. And he quietly really broke down our defense there at the beginning. And he made some baskets in the second half. So he ends up having a nice game box score wise as well. But I thought he was really the difference between the two, other than Jarrett Allen.
Yep.
Why we looked so bad at the beginning is because on their end, they have a guy breaking down our defense. It wasn't even Donovan Mitchell doing anything. And on our end, we don't have even a guy who can do it to a Jalen Tyson level in this game. So that's kind of sad.
I will say this. Jalen Tyson is better for this system than I think anybody Portland put on the floor tonight.
Yeah.
Because when the ball swung to him, he's a 46% three-point shooter. So you have to close out hella hard because you can't let him shoot the ball because he is one of the top 5 shooters in the league this season. He's automatic this season. He's insanely good at shooting the three. but then also he can hit that little mid
It's
range.
fairly good overall.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a dude I loved in his draft. This is why. Like, I didn't expect him to be this level of 3-point shooter though. But he's also somebody that can hit the mid range and then just make solid decisions. Make solid decisions. Like, isn't going to be selfish. Isn't going to force tough shots. And that's just kind of like a point about the personnel that the Blazers have. Like, he's a second-year player. He barely played last year, but has a more well-rounded game that better suits what the Blazers try and run than anybody that touched the floor tonight.
Yeah, and then they, well, he's also a good defender, and then they add Keon Ellis, who's also pretty good at that. Schroeder, to a lesser extent, can do that a little bit too, but yeah, I mean, they're going to be pretty loaded with guys who can do that once they get Garland back too. And Mitchell didn't have a great game, but he obviously is elite at that as well.
Yeah, it is funny that my favorite sleeper 2 drafts ago was Jalen Tyson. My favorite sleeper last draft was Cedric Howard. I'll just say that, Yeah, so it's there is a part of me I don't like him doing against the Blazers, but I've enjoyed watching Jalen Tyson cook all year because that was my favorite draft sleeper, man. And I thought the Cavs got a steal when they drafted him at 20th or 21st or whatever it was, and he's paying off. He's playing good basketball. He's a starter on a playoff team in year 2. So I still feel like there's some playmaking there that doesn't have to be tapped into because they got Garland and Donovan Mitchell, but could be tapped into in the future. So keep an eye on him. He's a fun player. But yeah, the offensive system, you guys heard us talk about it earlier in the year. Let me know what your thoughts are on the offense. Let me know what your thoughts are on the offense and the way they kind of do things. I'm looking back through the chat to see if there's any comments on that. But Elizabeth Allen says Sharpe is 2.7 to 3.1 assists a turnover. Haha, one of the worst in the league. So yeah, that would be what gets him. I don't know what the rest of the comments about. I think about like a trade.
Oh, he's always arguing with people.
Yeah, but I mean, let's go to Sharpe. I'm using that as a segue to Sharpe. Okay. I thought he played even worse than his stat line shows today. I could not stand some of the decisions that he made today. Some of the shots that he shot today drove me insane. He settled for some awful mid-range looks. One got blocked or he airballed. One he almost airballed. Like, he still finishes with, I guess, an okay stat line. 9 for 21, 2 for 8 from 3. He doesn't get to the free throw line, so that's below a 50 true shooting percentage. 3 assists, 4 turnovers. Minus 24 team worst. The team looked much better with him off the floor today. It looked much better with him off the floor today. With him on the floor today, with the amount of bad decisions he made, some of the turnovers he had today. Yeah, he got 9 buckets, but the team was better with him off the floor today because of a lot of the decisions that he made offensively. And he's not really a swing type of guy. The ball will stick to him. The thing is we talk about the system, like he kind of has to create a little bit, but my goodness, man, sometimes he settles for stuff that is just like, I don't care how bad everybody else is. There's 14 on the shot clock. Like, why are you shooting a contested pull-up midi that gets blocked or it was an air ball or whatever it was? You know what I mean? So he drove me insane tonight. Like, I am hard on Sharpe. It's because of the decision-making literally driving me insane. So, yeah. I don't know. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't have a great game, and once again, need him to step up a little bit with the absence of Denny and Drew and stuff like that. But unfortunately, as we've learned this year so far, he's just not capable of being the point guard or running the offense. So just puts us in a really tough.
Speaking of putting us in a really tough spot, it puts me in a really tough spot when Eric gets collab cammed. Sorry. Say the last 10 seconds. Collabed.
Well, so we need it. It's obvious this year so far. Sharpe just does not have it in him to be the main ball handler, point guard, setting up the offense, running it for other people, stuff like that. He needs to be the secondary attacker or the guy you run plays to get a shot for, not necessarily to get a shot for someone else for. And unfortunately, it's just he's not capable of it, and we keep putting him in that role, and it's just not working. He's not good at reading the floor, like we've talked about several streams, and his decision making on some of those shots, almost feel like he thinks he has to shoot a lot of them, and maybe excuse me, maybe he does because our offense is freaking terrible, but
try and get to a better spot, man.
Yeah.
There's just times where it's like he doesn't want to expend the extra effort to try and get all the way to the rim or shoot the three. Like I talked about last game, when he has it going and nobody else has it going, and because he has it going, he's getting run off the line, and then they're swarming him at the rim, and he shoots a mid-range. Like he gets to space and shoots a mid-range. I'm okay with that. It's when he doesn't have it going, and he's not getting to space in the mid-range to take a clean mid-range, and he's forcing a super tough contested mid-range look that he's settling for. That's the stuff that drives me crazy because he's not efficient at it. It's not good offense. He shoots 35% on him. Like, it's the equivalent of a 23.3% three-point shooter shooting a bunch of threes. Right? 35% on mid-ranges is 0.7 points per possession. It's the same as a 23% three-point shooter. If there was a 23% three-point shooter shooting contested threes, step-back threes, we'd be pulling our hair out. But Shaedon Sharpe shooting this same sort of shot from the mid-range, it's the same efficiency. It drives me crazy. Like, we would not be sitting here if Chris Murray was shooting step-back threes at 23% and shooting contested threes at 23%. Like, we would not be okay with it. But Sharpe shoots mid-ranges at 35%. It's worth that. It's worth 1 point less. Like, if he was using it to get to other stuff, sure. But a lot of times he settles. He's not using it to get to more efficient shots. He's not, getting to that spot, not shooting one, and then the next time getting to that spot, pump faking because he just shot one, somebody jumps, and then he can step through, get to the rim, and finish. Like, he doesn't use the mid-range to open up the rest of his game enough to justify the mid-range shots that he takes.
Yeah, I mean, he's just... It's like he's just sometimes in his own world, and he's just like, okay, I got to get a shot this possession. It's just no matter what happens, he's going to get that shot up, and I just don't think you can play basketball like that. I mean, you can't every once in a while, it's fine. Like, if coach sets up the last play for you to get an ISO and tells you to go get a bucket, like I don't blame a guy like Sharpe for thinking that he has to shoot then no matter what. But, like, I mean, if you look at something that LeBron's criticized for, like people think it's like a bad thing that he passes up a lot of end of game shots in those moments where he's ISO'd. And it's because he reads the floor and he sees an open teammate, and he knows that getting an open shot is a good look versus having to take a really tough fadeaway shot over defense that's geared up to stop you. And when we're not playing with Denny, like the defense was obviously, like I said, there. So Sharpe was trying to drive on someone, and they had a guy like literally just standing right next to that guy. So Sharpe, even if he got by his guy, had nowhere to go. and he just drove into it a couple times and got stripped and lost the ball. That happened at least 2 or 3 times. And so, like, I don't know.
One of those plays that ticked me off more than any play this game, Eric.
Yeah.
Do you know what play I'm talking about? He gets stripped. He gets pickpocketed close to half court. It was just really weak with his dribble. But then he's like a step behind Donovan Mitchell. And if he sprints into the play, like, he can play defense, like he can defend Donovan Mitchell. And he jogs back and lets Donovan Mitchell get a lay-in. Like, dude, you turn the ball over as a ball handler once again. At least sprint back and try and make up for it. But it's like he turned it over and he jogged back. It wasn't like egregiously bad. It wasn't DeAndre Ayton. But it's like, sprint back, man. You just turned it over. I'm not even expecting you to sprint back every time, but like, you just turn it over. Give some effort to sprint back into the play and stop the break. But like, there's just these moments that drive me crazy where it just feels like you said, he's kind of in his own world and kind of zones out. And it's super, super frustrating. So yeah, like, I am hard on him, even though he's had some level of production this year, but that's just because, like, the things that he struggles with are things that are frustrating. Like Ryan Repair not being able to knock down threes, like, we know that. But Shaedon Sharpe with just some of the issues. He just needs to be an off-ball player, man. He needs to be an off-ball player. Like, he needs to be somebody that's shooting catch-and-shoot threes, attacking closeouts and getting all the way to the rim, not settling for mid-range jumpers, and cutting and filling the lane in transition and maybe sometimes pushing the ball in transition. Then once in a while, he might tries to attack a weak defender off the dribble. I think he would be an efficient scorer if he did that, and he wouldn't have this level of turnover issues. Like, he could be a 1 turnover per game guy with his 2.5 assists, playing that sort of role. But it would be much better for the offense. The problem is they kind of need him to play a little bit more of a role, but I just don't think he's close to being able to be the level of ball handler that everybody wants him to be. He's not strong enough with his dribble, and he doesn't read the game well enough. And it's year 4. Yes, he still has time, but this team has more talent on it next year, and they're trying to win. I don't think it would be smart to just let Shaedon Sharpe continue to turn the ball over more than he assists, and have these sloppy turnovers and shoot all these mid-range shots. If you're trying to win at a high level and you have Dame and maybe they make a trade, right? So I think going forward this season, I would expect Shea to continue to be on the ball. But next year, the best role for him going into the season is to be utilized more off the ball. And to be utilized a bit more like a role player instead of a guy that's trying to be like a star. And maybe he still has the time to figure out the on-ball stuff to become a star, but this is where, I think it's more likely he ends up more of a high-caliber role player than somebody that's making all-star games. Because I do think his best usage is off the ball, and he could be really good at it. Maybe he could be a Lauri Markkanen type of star where he gets most of his buckets off the ball. But Lauri Markkanen's a 3-point sniper and 7 feet tall, But that's the best role for Sharpe. If they had more talent, he would probably be playing more of that role. But then again, their system is what their system is, so I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating watching a player that has that much talent just kind of go through the motions and not really have that mindset, that killer mindset. It's just it's frustrating. I mean, he's still a good player regardless. I still think he can be like a starting caliber, or I mean, he's definitely a rotation player and stuff. It's just going to be interesting to see if he can ever channel some sort of passion or will to to be better. I don't know.
Chat wants you to channel some passion. Aaron says, Eric, please get angry and rage. I missed the.
I did at the beginning of the stream. I was
I missed the real Brant rants the real Brant rages from back in the day. Although I don't even rant or rage the same way as I did back in the day. Like, this losing streak's kind of like taking the soul out of me right now. I feel like it's just zapping my energy. So sorry if I'm not yelling enough for chat, but.
Well, I mean, we did have some good news today, which we'll talk about in a second. We made a good trade that will hopefully fix some of these issues, and then we found out Denny's an all-star. So, like, it's not – I mean, like, if those things didn't happen today, I might be sitting here saying, like, dude, if we don't get a freaking shooter or someone who can ease the burden of this offense a little bit, like, I'm going to be so pissed. But
we'll talk about that in a second. Let me get through 3 things, and then we'll finish wrapping up this game. Like, let's rapid fire the rest of it. Monopo Man, $3.50 donation. Thank you. Says, what are the odds on Giannis PDX trade? I think very low, but not zero. Not zero. And man, I have a bit of a history of like speaking things into existence. So maybe it's higher than we all think. Because I spoke Crerache into existence by just saying we need him. I didn't predict it. Shout out to Play by Play with the $2 donation. Says 105 assists, 93 turnovers, and 30% from 3 over the last 5 games. Ew. Yeah, that's not fun to watch. It's disgusting and it's pissing me off. Thank you for the donation. 93 turnovers in the last 5 games, man. It was the thing that frustrates me is like they solved the turnover issue despite having no point guards, and then they get Drew back and kind of lose Denny, and he's not 100%, and all of a sudden now they're even worse taking care of the ball. It's frustrating to think you fix something and then all of a sudden it's worse. And then
what are they averaging? So that's over 20 turnovers a game?
No, last 5. That's like that's 18.6 turnovers per game. Shout out to my mental math.
I thought 103 was the turnovers.
No, 105 assists. Yeah, so 21 assists, 18.3 turnovers per game. That's ugly. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's disgusting, but when Denny's not 100%, your number one option offensively averages less assists than he does turnovers, so he's just going to contribute to that, unfortunately. Like, you want the number one option to be able to kind of like calm that stuff down and control the offense and like get it under control. Get guys in the right spots, orchestrate things. The Blazers just don't have that guy without Denny. Maybe that's Drew, but the last 2 games he played were horrible. So, and then he's out due to personal reasons. So I don't know what's going on with him. And then shout out to Suns Valley Podcast member for 39 months. Says, is Denny playing Tuesday night? No idea. No idea.
He was supposed to play tonight and didn't, so yeah.
Yep. The Blazers are now the 10th seed in the West, by the way. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Rough stuff, man. This is just straight up rough. Okay, let's go through the rest. Jeremy had 15 points, was 5 for 13 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, had 2 rebounds in 28 minutes, had 1 assist, 2 turnovers. I thought he was pretty bad tonight as well.
Yeah, not a good game from Jeremy yet again, and I think it's pretty clear that his best role is off the bench scoring, and I don't think he can be depended on to be a starter anymore. I think he's fine as a 6th, 7th man, but he seems to really struggle when we get any sort of need for him to step up and him and Shea to be the main scorers with Denny out.
Yeah. Tristan, yeah, he did. He's also in a massive shooting slump. Since returning from injury, he's shooting 25% from 3. So we need shooting. He's not providing it. Yeah. He's not providing the shooting at all.
Yep.
He's not providing rebounding. The most rebounds he's gotten in a game since he returned from injury is 4. And it wasn't even a tie for 4. It was one single game he got 4. Okay. The most assists he's gotten in a game is 3. He's literally just a scorer who's not hitting threes right now. And not efficient from the field either. He's below 40% from the field since returning from injury. He has been, in last year's Jeremy Grant since returning from injury, he has been practically awful.
What was with him and Tomlin?
Tomlin just straight up mugged him. Did you see that? He ran up to him and just shoved him. Well, Jeremy was running down the court and Tomlin was getting in his way and bumping him several times. Yeah. And Jeremy's dude, let me run down the court, So he's kind of
Jeremy definitely shoved him.
Yeah, but it's the type of thing where it's possession changed. I don't know. It's kind of like a. I don't know how to explain it because it's not dirty. You just, if you're a basketball player and they're about to inbound the ball and somebody's trying to run down the court and you're just standing in front of them and won't even let them run down the floor at all. A, that's supposed to be a foul, freedom of movement, but B, you stand in there and bump them as they try and run down the floor and get in their way and bump them again. And yeah, you might get shoved. So. Anyway. Need Jeremy back.
The Suns on national TV is Aaron.
Yeah, they get to blow us out on national TV again. Can't wait. Okay, let's talk about our best starter from today. Do you know who that was, Eric?
City Sissoko.
City Sissoko was our best starter today. 32 minutes. Yeah, but he was our. I thought he was fine. I liked his defense today. And then he had 15 points, was 5 for 9 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, 2 steals. I thought he was our best defender tonight. So
yeah, he is okay.
His energy was fun. So solid City game, good to see. But they were leaving him wide open from 3. They were doing what you said, you live with City Sissoko shooting 3, and he shot 3 as well. He was 3 for 7, but it didn't matter because the rest of the offense was bothered by it. So
that one, the Tamani one where City did the jab step and then still shot it anyway, dude. Why are you shooting that shot?
Yeah, I mean there's a couple City moments in this game for sure. He only had 2 fouls in 32 minutes though, so
yeah.
Somebody in chat says he thought he was horrible. He wasn't horrible. I think he was I think the other 4 starters were literally worse than him. Because we talked about Clingan, he was frustrating today. I mean, he had 5 assists, no turnovers, so that's cool. 4 blocks. So you take out his assists, we had a even worse assist to turnover ratio. So the passing is cool, but the 3 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. He's 2 for 7 inside the arc. And got torched defensively. He was awful. Sharpe, I already talked about him. Grant, he was awful. Tamani, 12 points, 5 for 13 for the field, 2 for 7 from 3. He had 4 boards, 2 turnovers.
Yeah. Not a great Tamani game either.
Yeah. I will say his some of his dribble drive stuff and finishing, he's kind of taking his time more and then shooting over guys and actually finishing that way, which is more effective for him. So I like that adjustment that he's made lately, but it just felt like every time they needed a big 3 from him, he missed it. He made a couple, and he made that not every time because he made that one when they were on that run. But for him to knock down another 3 or 2 in a game like this, they needed him to they needed somebody to come through and shoot the 3 ball really well today, and nobody shot it really well. City was 3 for 7. Caleb Love was 3 for 8. Those are your best shooters today. Speaking of Caleb, go ahead.
Did you see what Donovan did when he made a 3 today?
Did he do it?
Yep, sure did. He made 1 3. He has only made 1 3 or 0 threes, and he, of course, thanks to heavens.
So what's worse, that or making a three and like pointing to the opposing bench and then immediately going down the other side of the floor and picking up your third foul?
Like Caleb Love did?
No, like Tamani Kamara did.
Oh, yeah. Well,
when you're 2 for 7, you end up 2 for 7 from three, but one of the threes you're like flex it at the bench and then you immediately go pick up a foul.
And we're still down like 14.
Yeah, or whatever it was. It was in the first half. It was in the first half. I don't know. Yeah. This team is starting to get really celebratory every time they make a three. There's games where Shaedon Sharpe will be 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 from 3. He'll finally make a 3 and he'll like stare at his hand, like do whatever, which I guess is fine if they call a timeout or you're, back on defense or whatever. But it's kind of like, dude, you guys are the worst 3-point shooting team in the league. Stop like, oh, I'm going to shoot a bunch of threes and then, oh my goodness, thank the Lord I finally made one. Or point to the opposing bench and then be a little bit late back on defense, It's just like the worst shooting team in the league should not be celebrating threes. You know who can celebrate threes? Crerache. Okay. I'll allow him. When he gets here, he can celebrate threes. If you're shooting over 40% from three, you're allowed to celebrate your threes. That's my rule. That's my rule.
All right.
Jalen Tyson can celebrate his threes. Yeah.
Airmaster says Sam Merrill can celebrate.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the rule. Or at least above league average, Like, I don't even have to set the bar that high. Caleb Love was our best player today. 21 points in 30 minutes. He had like 3 inefficient games in a row, so it was good to see him kind of bust out of that little mini slump. 21 points, 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3. Had 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 2 steals. Is he better than... No, I'm just kidding. What'd you think of his play today?
Yeah, Love was all right.
He's a home merchant?
Yeah.
Let me look up his splits.
It's pretty heavy in favor of home. I don't know if the season stats, because he was brutal at both at the beginning of the season, but
yeah, at home on the season. He's averaging 13 points per game, 3 boards, 3 assists. 42% for the field, 37% for 3, true shooting percentage of almost 55%. On the road, his true shooting percentage is 45%. 10 points, 2.7 rebounds, 2.5 assists. 35.6% from the field, 27% from 3. He is a home merchant. The thing is, that doesn't even take this game into account, so that'll be an even bigger difference. They could get him to do some stuff on the road. That'd be cool. I mean, the thing is I saw him on the road drop 26 against Golden State, so I guess that's the one singular good road game he's had this year, huh? That's funny.
You just happened to witness that one.
Yeah, he had a good road game because I was there. I'm convinced. But he was good today. He maybe took a questionable shot or two, but he's a rookie. I'll live with it. I don't know. Had a couple nice passes. Robert Williams III couldn't slow down Jarrett Allen either. Maybe the stats say something different, but he had 10 points, he was 5 for 6 from the field, 12 rebounds. Like, that's a solid statistical production game, I guess.
Yeah, I thought he was decent. He was at least active.
Yeah.
So Trevin posted, he did it in the stupid player A versus player B format.
I hate those.
But so this is since December 23rd. This is Caleb Love at home. 17 points per game, 47.2, 41.7, and 91.7 shooting splits on 61.2% true shooting percentage On the road, 12.5 points per game, 36.6, 27.6, 55.6 shooting splits on 45.9%.
Yeah. Wow. Trevin, okay, we got a quick side note. Why do you do it in vote which stat line's better when a player's stat line is like every single stat they're much better than compared to the other stat line where every single stat is much worse? Obviously, the stat line where every single stat is much better is better. Obviously, that's better. Chat, who's better? A player that scores 30 points per game on a 65% true shooting percentage or 4 points per game on a 50% true shooting percentage? Let me know. That's Trevin's polls. But yeah, those are wild splits, so I don't know. So Caleb likes going out on the road. Yeah, is that it? He's finally an NBA rookie and going to all these different cities for the first time as an NBA player. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe we just got to wait for him to be a sophomore where it's not his first time going to these cities. I don't know. I'm joking. I'm not implying he's doing anything, but
yeah, you are.
Yeah, I am. Really good game from him tonight, though. Young Hansen, we're not going to talk about it. He threw an awful pass out of bounds. He wants to dime people up too much, where like somebody can like V cut and he thinks, "Ooh, backdoor cut," throws it out of bounds. Javonte Cook played 3 garbage time minutes, got a bucket, good for him. Ryan Repair, 19 minutes, 3 points, 1 for 6 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3. You know what I was thinking about in this game? Every Ryan Repair quarter 3, I'm like, ooh, that's going to be Crerache. Every time he shot the 3, I'm like, I can't wait till we have a sniper shooting these.
Yeah. It'll be nice.
Yeah. He's not going to last past the trade deadline. They'll cut him to sign Caleb Love if they don't trade him. But I feel very confident he's not going to be here at the end of the season.
There was this is a hilarious story. So there was someone posted, I forgot who it was, one of those accounts that claims to have inside information, claimed that Portland is shopping Ryan Repair to open up a roster spot, which is pretty obvious. That's what they're doing, knowing that they want to put Caleb Love and Sidy Cissoko on actual roster spots. Yeah. And so someone responded to that and said, if this is true, every team in the league would have already called Portland begging to get Ryan Rivera. I was like, what are you talking about, dude?
What? That has to be a troll. That has to be a troll. There's no way that's not. Though. How do you know? There's no way that's a real comment. There's no way anybody really thinks
thought that Repair's like flashing some sort of potential in that.
I mean, there are people that are out there saying like we're on the same path as OKC. So people will, I mean, as Blazer fans, they'll find any singular way to think the most insane optimistic thought, even if it makes absolutely no sense. Like, man, Ryan Repair, he flashed something today. He had a bucket in 19 minutes and had 2 assists. Like, okay. All right, man. Yeah. Bunch of NBA players would not be able to do that. Yeah, he gone. Repair gone. Wesley back. 19 minutes for Blake Wesley in his return today. Hasn't played since October 31st. 5 points, 2 for 3 from the field. Made a 3! He was 1 for 1 from 3. I guess he was our best shooter today. Like, all right, man. This dude couldn't make anything from 3 to start the year. Comes back. Maybe he worked on his shot when he was out. I don't know. Also had 4 assists, 3 turnovers, 3 rebounds. You notice how he wasn't playing the like pick up full court press style? Like,
yeah.
The Blazers have gone away from that, which isn't a bad thing, But I feel like people were just waiting for him to come back so we could get back to pressing teams like we were at the beginning of the season when we had him. Yeah, no.
He did have some nice pushes in transition
Yes.
that collapsed the defense or whatever. That is a game changer if you can do that consistently.
Yeah. When we can't get two to commit to the ball in the half court, so we can't get teams caught in rotations and we're stuck. Like, having somebody in transition that just pushes it, draws the defense, and then kicks it out, you can get some stuff off that. That's essentially like what you're trying to do in the half court is have somebody drive and then draw defense and kick it out and attack those lanes, but it's just in transition. Nobody else pushes the ball in transition, dude. Nobody pushes the ball like that, except maybe Denny when he's healthy. Everybody on this team is just so content to like lazily walk the ball up the floor. Or they'll go 1-on-3, or they'll draw multiple defenders, but then they have to go 1-on-3. Caleb Love has that issue. City Sissoko has that issue, even though it worked out a couple times for him today. I like that from Blake. His energy was good. I think I don't know what the rotation is going to look like because it sounds like you have Scoot almost ready to return, which I'm super excited for. I need Scoot back, man. But I mean, you got Ryan Repair playing 19 minutes today. Like, you got City Sissoko playing 32 minutes today. I think there's a world where you can have Drew, Sharpe, Scoot, Love, and Wesley play in a game, and you go small and play Sharpe at some 3, maybe play Drew at some 3. Like, the offense is already so bad and the defense isn't really performing that I wouldn't mind going to some lineups with like Scoot, Love, and Drew on the floor together and just try and like push. The thing is that combination could be good for the half court offense. It's super drive and kick and make decisions. Theoretically, having 3 guards on the floor should be better for that type of offense. So I don't mind experimenting that given the injuries and whatnot. And, Blake Wesley brings some energy. I don't hate it, but that's all the players. Anything else you wanted to say from this game before I do want to talk a little bit about Scoot, a little bit about Crerache, a little bit about trade market, etc.
No, that's it for this game.
Okay.
Sorry, everyone. I had to watch it.
So the broadcast said maybe Scoot's back next game, and Tiago said he's coming back very, very soon. So he could return next game. I assume he'll be on a minutes restriction, at least through the All-Star break. Who knows if he's even here at the All-Star break, right? But what are your thoughts on his impending return? Like, where do you think he should slot in, and what would your expectations be?
I mean, if we have injuries still, might have to get a bigger role, then might not have much of a chance to ease back into it. But I definitely think, fully healthy, at least initially, just let him run the bench unit, try to work his way back in, give him some time to – I mean, he was out a long time, so give him a little bit of a rein to be patient with him and stuff. Like, I don't think anyone should be judging him based off of his first few games.
Oh, they will.
But I know they will. I'm just saying, like, I think he can come in and be kind of that drive and penetrator we need, and it might not be great if we don't have the shooting still, but getting that trade today will help with that. And I almost want to just like put him with the second unit initially and just turn him loose and let him just be like, Scoop, let's see what you can do, and just take all the shackles off this guy. They admitted they were protecting him or something his first couple of years. Like, don't do any of that crap. Just turn him loose, and let's like see what we have here and just let him play.
Yeah, man, because I feel like his trade value is kind of low, like if he's traded for Giannis, sure, but I want to keep him. I want to keep him. I think it's good to have as many like high-level decision makers on your team, and I think he averaged 7 assists per 36 the first 2 years of his career. Had turnover issues his rookie year. Actually, let me look up his turnover numbers. So year one, he averaged 5.4 assists with 3.4 turnovers, and everybody's freaking out about his turnovers. It's kind of funny now. He had some really bad turnovers, but then his second year, 5.1 assists to 2.7 turnovers. Like that's almost a 2-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, right? You need somebody that can come and take care of the ball and set guys up other than Denny Avdia, as well as be a scoring threat and be able to get into the paint consistently. It should be him. Like he should be the guy that's capable of coming in and filling a bit of that void and that need. So yeah, I think, if he has a 20-minute restriction off the bat, he should play all those 20 minutes off the bench. If you really want to play Blake Wesley as a fifth guard, you play some small ball lineups, 3-guard lineups, whatever. Play less Repair, play less Sissoko then. But yeah, I mean, I do think he's going to be rusty and people are going to freak out, but I still believe in the type of player that he is, and I still believe in some of the upside, and that's why I haven't been sitting here saying trade him while he's injured at his lowest point, his lowest value, sell low on him, like a lot of people have been saying. Never thought of it that way with him, so hopefully he can come back and show something, because he took a step last year, and if he took a similar step this year, he was like, I was expecting him to, then it would make for some tough decisions moving forward.
Yep. Hopefully Scoot's ready to go. I mean, they kept him out long enough. Hopefully obviously there's reconditioning restrictions, but hopefully it's not a case where they waited till he's 100%. So like it shouldn't be a case where it's like, we have to worry about this. Like it feels like at this point they waited until it was absolutely not an issue anymore, and hopefully that's the case and that he doesn't have any setbacks or tweak it at all, because that'd be pretty devastating if he doesn't even get a chance to play in this last stretch of the season as well. So hopefully everything's fine with him when he comes back, and hopefully his energy and just his kind of I don't know, like the way he plays, hopefully it kind of feeds, much like we see with Wesley coming back today. Like Scoot can provide that kind of energy too, and this team just needs a burst of that right now. They need it desperately.
Yeah. I mean, I still think Scoot has more upside than it seems like a lot of people are giving him credit for. Just because I like he kind of had to learn how to play basketball. He was playing off of his speed and quickness. But I do like the progress that he made last year in that regard. And I do think the blend of the speed and the developing jump shot and some of the crafty stuff he does in the mid-range, like he'll come to a jump stop, pump fake, like step through, do some crafty stuff that I wish Sharpe would. And I don't know, I just like a lot of the pieces of his game, and I wonder what it looks like when it comes together. So I'm super excited for him to be back, and he put in a lot of good work this offseason, so I'm excited to watch him, even though I do expect him to struggle. Let's discuss Crerache real quick. We did have a live stream earlier today. I was in the car. Eric was somewhere else. It was kind of a weird setup there, but love the trade.
Kind of fun doing something different.
Yeah, I've been talking about Crerache, man. I brought him up a couple months ago. This is my top shooter target. He's 6'8", has played some point guard, smart passer. But is a sniper. He's a 42% 3-point shooter. He's been above 40% the last 3 years. Like, you need a little bit more ball handling. You need somebody that can make the right play when they run off the line, doesn't make mistakes. But then also you need a sniper. That's a guy that checks all those boxes. He's on a minimum contract this year, next year, and the year after, and the 2 years after are essentially team options. So you don't ever have to worry about paying him. You can keep him on the roster this season and the next 2 seasons after this at essentially a minimum contract, and he fills a need. A need. I mean, this team chucks a ton of threes and makes none of them. And I've thought that's insane. Like, how could you go into a season like we're going to shoot one of the highest rate of threes in the league, but we're not going to have a 3-point specialist. We're not going to have snipers out there. And you've seen them be the worst 3-point shooting team in the league despite shooting such a high volume. It was insane not to have a shooter like this on the roster, but they went out and addressed their biggest need with a guy that's perfect for it in many ways that I think is a pretty impressive passer for being like a 3-point specialist type of guy. So you see all these wide open threes in the corners that City Sissoko shoots and Ryan Repair shoots. Those are going to go to him. And I feel a lot more comfortable with him shooting those shots than those guys or Chris Murray or something like that, right? They needed somebody like this desperately, and he's perfect for him. It's not a rental. If he was a rental, it'd be like, okay, cool, but like, where are we going this year? And then he could leave. No.
Yeah.
He's cost controlled, so it's just the perfect pickup, in my opinion. So I am super excited to have him. Like, next game, we might be talking about, Scoot is back and Crerache, we finally have a 3-point shooter and we have Blake Wesley. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot changing right now, and I expect more moves to be made before the deadline. So it's kind of wild it's a little bit of a whirlwind right now, but great pickup that they made.
Yeah, it was a great move. I didn't think that Atlanta would give him up so easily. So apparently he's really struggled the last 16 games, shooting just about 20% from 3. But his percentage for the season's still great. But so that's the only thing.
His role's also been a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah, well, they have 3 players that are very similar after the trade, the Trae Young trade, which brought in Kispert to add to the 2 they already had in Kennard and him. But I thought with his contract and just being, in my opinion, the best out of those 3 guys, I thought they would look to move one of the other ones before they look to move him. Especially if all they were getting were second-round picks. So I was pretty surprised that was attainable for that value, and just a really good trade. And it's also it might be a little frustrating too if he comes in and opens up the offense just by having one shooter out there, and we have to listen to people tell us, "See, he knows what he's doing. You owe him an apology." When, like, why didn't he add a shooter?
We've been saying he needs to add a player like this.
Everyone and their mom knew that we needed a shooter this last offseason, didn't get one. So thankfully we got one now. So good move by Cronin. It's also ridiculous when you say Cronin cooked with this one. Like, I put out a tweet and all these people are like, "See, you need to talk good about Cronin." I'm like, literally just said he cooked. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, he cooked with this trade. Like, this was an awesome trade.
It's the cultish crony behavior. There's just people that are, the Sharpe Colt annoys me. There's the crony Colt. You can give them props on a trade and people still find an issue with it because they think that you're supposed to praise every single thing he ever does, like he walks on water. So, yeah, I mean, I've experienced the same thing. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, but this was a great trade. It was really good value, good use of second-round picks, in my opinion, that we haven't been good at using under Joe Cronin, in my opinion. And then, yeah, I mean, Dwop, unfortunately, great guy, but he's hurt and probably wasn't going to be on the roster past this season anyway.
Yeah.
So you get rid of a player that was on his way out, whether we traded him or not. We were cutting him for one of Love versus Soko anyway for that roster spot. So to add a shooter in that spot, and I saw people say this, well, Duop was a shooter too, so you just traded a shooter for a shooter.
No, he was not.
But like
that
he's
type of shooter.
Yeah, he's not that type of shooter, and also, yeah, I mean, he was fine. He was shooting okay this year, but Vit's going to be a different type of player than we've had in a while here, and hopefully he can show that right away, because I think this offense is set up really well to have shooters thrive in it, and I think he will.
The last time we had a shooter like in his mold was Seth Curry.
Yeah,
like off ball, spot up, sniper. Could attack a closeout, hit a mid range pull up occasionally.
Right.
Like, yeah, we haven't had anybody like that since Seth.
Yeah, like someone who can, like Vic can read the floor, and like Seth was a smart player too.
Yeah.
Like you never have to worry about him like not making the right play or like in. I mean, they're not gonna like take a 18-foot fadeaway shot unless it's at the end of a shot clock. Like we criticize someone else for doing. But like one thing I hate to do this because I mean we've been burnt on this so many times when a coach says something we want him to say. But I don't know if you caught this, Tori. Tiago was interviewed before the game about the trade, and he mentioned that he's the type of player you can run off-ball screens for to get open shots. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, please don't tease us with that. Like, this is something that like we've been begging for you to do is like use screens. Yeah. And so I was excited that he said that, but hopefully that's not a big tease.
Yeah. Yeah. Hawks fans hated this trade for them, so that also kind of tells you what you need to know. Like, he's apparently a locker room favorite there. Trae Young tweeted, like, good luck to him. He's a good locker room guy. Like, there's literally nothing wrong with this trade. Normally, there's always, you bring in the player and you can find, like, one flaw to nitpick here and there. I guess you could talk about his defense, but, I mean, he's a three-point sniper. Like, normally that's not something you're worrying about, and the Blazers have plenty of defensive players. We talked about it. They needed somebody like this. So there's just not, like, this is just a straight-up A-grade trade. I guess the only way you could have gotten an A+ if you traded one less second-round pick, I don't know. But I was shocked when I saw this trade. I talked about getting a guy like him, but as you said, I didn't expect them to trade him, especially for – Duop Reith out for the year and 2 second-round picks. That felt light, so it's
it felt like it would have had to been part of like the Anthony Davis trade or something, or like if they made another move and you just get that as like, because we've heard all these things like Portland's trying to be a facilitator in trades if they can't get Giannis too. So I felt like it would be part of that. Not necessarily giving up the Bucks picks or anything like that. But,
you know what the good thing about this is it adds a rotation player to the mix. Like, Duop was not a rotation player. I've been discussing like the Blazers' interest with Giannis, and I guess we can talk about this. So the Blazers' interest in Giannis involves them like consolidating multiple role players and probably trading Grant and losing his shooting, right? And the result would be you have a really good starting five next year, but the bench is kind of thin. But now you add Vit to that equation, all of a sudden the bench doesn't look so thin. Like you basically just added a rotation player for 2 seconds. So I think now it's even easier to make a consolidation trade and look towards next year. Like hypothetically, if you traded Scoot and Sharpe and Grant in a Giannis trade, you would still have Dame, Drew, Tamani, Denny, Giannis, Clingan, Krejci, Robert Williams. Like, that's 8 guys. That's 8 rotation caliber guys. So, and then you would, I think, easily be able to fill out the bench and be fine off the bench. And that's if you traded 3 rotation guys for Giannis. Like, and we're not talking about, like, Caleb Love. We're not talking about Matisse Thybulle if they re-signed him, right? So I think just it bolsters the bench with filling an area of need that wasn't already filled on this team. But then also, if you do consolidate moving forward, it's a little bit easier now because you have this guy making $2 million a year as just – he can easily be your 8th or 9th guy, play 18, 20 minutes a game and give you shooting. So,
yeah, and I was also thinking about this in terms of promoting Caleb and City, and that's this year we have Dame as our 15th guy, not playing at all, so that kind of makes everyone have to move up a spot in the rotation. But if Caleb Love and City Sissoko are your 2 worst players, or your 13th and 14th men in the rotation, and you have a lineup, let's just say the Blazers made moves to get Murray and repair Alpha there, and they replaced them with those 2 guys, and they're like the worst players on our 15-man roster. Like, I think that's when you start to be like, wow, this is a pretty deep and has the potential to be a really solid team, even if they have some injuries, because they could sustain it with guys like that not having to be relied on to play rotational minutes every game like they are right now. But instead, you have a Denny go down, and you can survive with City playing a couple games, but not like playing 20 to 30 minutes every game, right? So I think it makes everyone's role just a little bit more what it should be, versus like right now where we have so many players that are having to do way more than they're capable of or expected to do or need to in order to win some of these games, and it's just not working out well at points. Workster also pointed out that he laughed when Thiago said he was thirsty for
yeah, we all were, man. We all were. Maybe Thiago finally got through to Cronin like, hey, our system is
my offense is relying on shooting, right?
Yeah, we need some shooting. We're the worst shooting team in the league, Joe. Can you please give me a shooter? All right, I'll cook, and then everybody will worship me, so I appreciate it, Thiago.
I didn't know Crerache was a Thiago splitter thirst trap.
No, you know how Thiago suggested, and it's like, okay, fine. Mike, who's a shooter you liked in the draft a few years ago? Oh, Krejci? Okay. Call him up. Oh, 2 seconds and do up? All right, sure. And then everybody gives Joe praise, even though it's Mike Schmitz and Thiago Splitter,
And for those
this is fan fiction, by the way. All right. Or maybe it's not.
Also, for those that missed it, apparently he is friendly with Giannis, and they share the same agent and all that. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think it's just a coincidence that they have the Bucks picks? They bring Drew back. They bring Dame back. They trade for Krejci. Like,
I mean, it could be, but it does seem like they were setting themselves up to be in a position to either go for it themselves or to at least be a team that has to be talked to facilitate a trade for Giannis. But yeah, I mean, it is aligning. Like, I mean, it would be silly to base your whole roster building over hopefully trading for Giannis one day, especially.
But they all kind of make sense, you know what I mean? So it's not.
Yeah, no, I know, but like, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it very well could be, but
are we going to tell Giannis, hey, if you come here, we'll sign Chris Middleton off the buyout market?
If the Bucks front office was just a little smarter, traded for someone else instead of Kuzma, and didn't make their whole offseason built around clearing up money for Miles Turner. I mean, like, the team could have still built the pieces around him, and then we're not even talking around about it. So I don't know, man.
It's gonna shock everybody when Giannis gets traded to Atlanta for the best of New Orleans and Milwaukee this year.
Is it?
Yeah, it's gonna shock everyone. But I don't know, man. I've had a bit of a track record of speaking stuff into existence accidentally on purpose. So, Kevin Knox, this. I think there's something else I forget, but Dame coming back. So yeah, I'm gonna keep speaking this into existence, this Giannis thing, because yeah, it'd be fun as hell to have him in Portland, and I think so. I think here's my package that I think they might accept. That I would love to give a package that's better for us than this, but this is, I think, maybe some middle ground. So I talked about, I had a Twitter thread about how Portland can make a Giannis trade and structure picks that are really good for Milwaukee, but then still have 4 tradable firsts after the trade this upcoming off season. And do you know what thread I'm talking about, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll explain it to chat. But essentially, first Portland has to figure out protections with Chicago so that they don't owe a 2028 first-round pick to Chicago, right? I think...
they made the playoffs with Giannis this year. It could clear.
Yeah, it could clear, but I would just go to Chicago and say, hey, can we make this 1 to 4 protected this year? And then it turns into 2 seconds. Because there's a 80, especially if we're making a move for Giannis, there's a 90% chance it's not top 4 anyway. And in that case, there's only upside where maybe it's 10th through 14th, where otherwise it wouldn't be, and it's a loaded draft.
I mean, Giannis is hurt right now, so we could make that trade.
But right now, what's our percentage odds is the top 4? 15%? I don't know. I'll bring up Tankathon. So, we're alone in 11th. Man, we're right back to where we were last year. Right now, we have a 9.4% chance at the top 4. So, if things held, right? If we make the playoffs, they get the pick anyway. But if things held, they would have a 90.6% chance at getting a pick higher in a loaded draft than they otherwise would, and a 9.4% chance it jumps up to the top 4 and turns into 2 seconds. I think Chicago would do that. I think that's justifiable for Chicago, right? But maybe you can get a little bit more creative. Regardless, you figure out the protections for Chicago, make it so you don't owe a 2028 first. Okay, then I like the idea of combining the unprotected Orlando 2028 first with the best of Portland and Milwaukee that Portland currently has, and Milwaukee gets that pick. So Milwaukee essentially gets the best 2028 first between Portland, Milwaukee, and Orlando. So you throw Orlando onto that. The thing is, Orlando might not make a difference, but that's, it's always better to have 3 instead of 2. And in that trade, Portland receives the worst between Portland, Milwaukee, and Washington swap that Milwaukee has. So they have a first-round pick this year, but it's the worst of the 3. That's the pick Milwaukee currently has. Then in 2029, trade the best between Milwaukee, Portland, and Boston that Portland currently has. And then in 2030, give Milwaukee the best 2030 first between Portland and Milwaukee, and Portland receives the worst. So you're basically swapping the swaps. Portland right now has the best. Milwaukee has the worst. You swap it. They get the best, so they still control their own pick. And if Portland's pick is higher, they get it. Portland has the worst, right? So essentially the result is Milwaukee in 2028 would have the best between Milwaukee, Portland, Orlando. In 2029 would have the best between Milwaukee, Portland, and Boston. And in 2030 would have the best between Milwaukee and Portland. But Portland would have first-round picks 2027 through 2033 this upcoming offseason. and essentially would be able to put all four in play after a Giannis trade, where they trade a 2027 Portland first, a 2029 worst pick between Portland, Milwaukee, and Boston, a 2031 Portland first, and a 2033 Portland first. All four picks would be in play. Now, I think to get that done, you'd have to include Scoot with Sharpe with Grant in a trade. Like, I think maybe there's a chance they'd accept Scoot, Sharpe, and those picks with Grant. They might ask for more, though, which kind of defeats the purpose of this, but I think that's like kind of my offer to them. And then if you're Portland, you still have Tamani off the bench next year. You have Crerache now. You need to fill out the rest of your roster, but then you have 4 tradable first. So, like, you could take another swing if you wanted to.
So I don't want to get into a whole thing, but do we know for sure if Sharpe is tradable this year or not?
He's on a poison pill. He was a rookie scale extension. Tamani's was different because of the way they...
No, Tamani's not a first-round pick.
Yeah, he's not a first-round pick, so it's not like a 4-year rookie contract extension. Sharpe is on a poison pill. Spot Track is the only place I've seen it where he's not tradable. Everywhere else, articles, everything, he is.
Listen. Okay, Spot Track has all the guys who signed rookie extensions. There's a handful that are eligible to be traded under a poison pill, it says, like Chet. And then there's a handful that says aren't eligible until July 1st at all. And that includes J-Dub, Sharpe.
What's the differentiating factor?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out. Like, if there was something in the new CBA that, like, I don't know what the difference is. I thought maybe, like, if it was a max extension, it's different. But I think J-Dub, did he sign a max? So, like, I don't know. So,
yeah, we got Shaedon Stat says July 1st, 2026. Google it right now. Okay, guess what? I Googled it. Here, I'll put it up on the screen. Like, this is confusing, I guess, for all of us. Because you're telling me to Google, and that you're saying Google says it won't say he's eligible, but
so it says on Spot Track, Paolo Banchero, Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, and Christian Braun are all poison pill tradable contracts, but poison pills till July 1st. For Dyson Daniels, Keegan Murray, Jalen Williams, and Shaedon Sharpe, it says not tradable until July 1st. So I don't know if Spot Track just messed up on those 4 and it meant to say and I don't know what the difference is between either of those.
So somebody told me they asked Keith Smith, and Keith Smith said he could be traded. And Keith Smith runs Spot Track, so he's disagreeing with the site that he runs, essentially.
Well, I do have the ability to. I messaged Spot Track, and I haven't heard back yet, but hopefully they respond.
Well, Keith's the guy that like does all the work over.
But there. I don't see that anywhere. So, like, why wouldn't he have fixed that? If
I don't know, because he doesn't know. Like, I don't know. I can probably ask him pretty directly. So
if Crerache was updated like seconds after the trade, like, he is on top of the Spot Track stuff. So, like, I don't think if someone asked him about it.
No, that's what I was told. But, like, that's how it's always been for a rookie extension, like, where it's just a poison pill.
Elizabeth Allen says Spot Track is wrong in using the 6-month time frame post signing an extension that applies to vets, but no longer applies to rookies. That is not true either, because when all the 6-month stuff, like Tamani, it lists the day. It doesn't say July 1st. These ones all say July 1st. So, yeah. I don't know.
Rookie scale
I don't know.
extension. I don't know. There's not
I
supposed to be
I don't
like
know
a
enough
year-long
about the
trade
new.
restriction with a rookie scale extension. Has been my understanding.
Yeah, I'm not. Unfortunately, it's dude. The new CBA is so convoluted and it's so much harder to read. And then we don't have the Larry Kuhn frequently asked question page anymore to like decipher some of this stuff, which makes it tough. Um, but yeah, but like for Tamani, right? It says April. Like, why wouldn't if he was just wrong and had a 6 month thing, it would be April for Sharpe too. It would say April. So it's not that Spot Track thinks the rule is 6 months, because I did see that where in the new CBA, one of those sites that say like, oh, these are the differences in the new CBA. It was like all extensions are now 6 months. But that's obviously not true for first round rookies if some of them are still eligible.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
so Gregory Dundon says Meringue just said on his show that he verified it with the team that it's July 1st.
Okay. He gets stuff wrong, by the way.
I don't know. But I don't know. Like, so I'm not saying either's right or wrong. Like, I'm so confused on why certain players wouldn't be. I don't know.
Why so since when has it ever been you sign an extension and you can't be traded for the rest of the calendar season when you sign it in October?
Well, there is like if you matching a contract on a restricted free agent, but that's different. This is an extension. That wouldn't be an extension. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, he was wrong about some Denny stuff too. Like, I mean, I forgot Kabar couldn't get traded, and I had a thread about it that I had to fix right after. So nobody seems to exactly know everything that goes on with this new CBA because, as Eric said, it's very convoluted. But
Elizabeth Allen, you are not listening to what I'm saying. How come if it is just they got the 6 month thing wrong, why do they list the 6 month date for every other player outside of those four we mentioned? It's not that, dude. Quit trying to argue that something that we're not saying.
yeah. So who are the other players?
It's Jalen Williams from OKC, the good one. I mean, they're both decent, but Dyson Daniels and Keegan Murray.
I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know. So Bobby Marks just has it as poison pill.
Yeah, Bobby Marks had an article about certain when Giannis became available or whatever. He had like team's best offers, but he did kind of contradict himself later in an article about it. I don't know. See, I've done the same thing. Oh, like I've been trying to figure out answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I tagged Keith Smith earlier. Haven't got
I can get you. I can get a response from him. I can get a response from him. I'll literally ask his co-host. Anyway. Kirk, yeah, that's what a poison pill is. We've broken that down plenty of times. That's what we mean by poison pill. So yeah, that's not really that's not really anything new. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know a poison pill, basically the outgoing salary for Sharpe is this year's salary, the fourth and final year of his rookie contract, but the incoming salary for the team he's traded to is an average of this year's salary and all the years of his extension. So like the outgoing salary is $8 million, but the incoming salary is like 19 million or 20 million or something like that. So it makes salary matching harder because his number is two different numbers.
Yeah, I was trying to figure this out all day yesterday, like what the difference is between the ones that are eligible and the ones that aren't.
Yeah. Yep. I'll ask. I'll see what I can do. I'll go straight to the source. And I'll let you know.
Someone said draft position, which would make sense for the first three, but why is Christian Brown then tradable?
Yeah.
And Keegan was what, the fourth pick? Why are the top three? Why does it change for the fourth pick? No.
Yeah, I don't know. Money? Monetary amount? Yeah, I have no idea. Anyway. Kirk, I trust Keith Smith. Saucy. Because he's the guy who runs Spot Track, so. I don't know. Now I'm just digging, trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
But I mean,
my guess is that it meant to say for all of them that July 1st was when the poison pill was over, and it just didn't, like, I don't know what, like maybe he just like copy and pasted one wrong and then messed up on four of them, and I don't know.
Yeah, because if I go back to Spot Track, it just says, oh yeah, it says his player cannot be traded until, yeah. But it doesn't say poison pill, and everything else says poison pill. Bobby Marks says poison pill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we do, like, so Taylor sent me that Keith Smith thing from a day ago or something saying that Sharpe is tradable. It's just on but poison pill makes it difficult. So,
all right, yeah,
that was from yesterday.
Maybe you guys will see Spot Track update that this week. I'll see what I can do. I'll figure it out. I'll go to him. Maybe the Blazers don't even know. What if the Blazers?
Maybe they just look at Spot Track and are like, "Oh wait, we can't trade it." No,
yeah,
that'd be so hilarious.
I know. I think he is tradable. Like, I'm operating under the assumption that he is. I mean, I think he has more value than Scoot. Do you agree with that?
Right now, yes.
Tristan is all arguing about hypotheticals anyway, so it's whatever. Like a lot of the logic and stuff still applies even if you keep Sharpe and trade Scoot. Um, but yeah, like if you can do the picks that way and trade Scoot, Sharpe, Grant, and have a chance of re-signing him, I'd probably do it. I know people don't like the fit, but I kind of just think he's a top 3 player in the world. You'd have contention level talent. You figure out the fit. Um, you bring in a coach that can make them fit, make them play well with each other. Should be able to figure it out. You have a top 3 player in the world. Dame, if he's 80% of himself, 75% of himself, he's still like a fringe star at least. You have Denny, you just made the All-Star game. You know, you still got pieces. You still have picks. Like, it's kind of a no-brainer to me. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, there was no Giannis stuff today, so like all the momentum was kind of yesterday. Um, I don't know if there was an update that I missed today, but I'm. You guys know me. I've been talking about Giannis for forever. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Giannis thing and the interest the Blazers supposedly have on him in him? I thought maybe it's like Portland's trying to help Milwaukee gain leverage so Portland can get more offers where they could be the facilitator.
Or it helps them with the picks being better.
Yeah, like there could be a play here where Portland's not actually interested, but it makes sense to like have it leak that they are.
I still think so. I had a Twitter post yesterday about like ownership. I've talked about this on the show too. Just I think Portland's in a really unique situation where someone who has run the team and not wanted to go in the tax, and before I get a bunch of people saying she would have been willing to go in the tax, there's just no reason to. Okay, that might be true as well, but um, they've made every move to set up their cap situation to not be a tax team ahead of the year that they trade them, like Josh Hart and CJ and Norm and all that stuff. So every year it's gotten they plan a year out to make sure they're not in the cap. And that's not a team that's willing to go in the cap or is going to do what it takes when the time comes. That's a team that is always putting themselves in a position to be on the cusp of doing it, but never actually having to do it. I actually believe they've hard capped themselves a few times. So then they have the excuse, oh, we can't even do this if we wanted to because we're hard capped, like the Gary Payton signing. And so, in my opinion, this situation, though, is Jody isn't going to be our next. The tax bill is at the last game of every season, is whatever your salary cap is, that's when the tax bill is calculated or whatever. So the sale of the team is supposed to be official in late March. I think March 24th or something is the last or the deadline day or whatever. So Jody no longer has to worry about the tax as the owner of the Portland Trailblazers. That she does not care. So she will not care what we decide to do with our cap situation moving forward, but also has the chance to be like, this is my lasting legacy to Portland. I approve this trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? So she's in a perfect spot to where she has none of the consequences that she would normally worry about for making a trade like this, but also gets to be like the hero on her way out. And also, before you say it, the NFL, she owns the Seahawks. They're in the Super Bowl. They're doing really well. gone through a rebuild under her that has turned out great. The NFL, completely different. You do not have to worry about aprons and tax bills and things like that. There is a hard cap. All you have to do is put smart people in charge and be like, okay, spend whatever you want under the CBA agreement. Like, I don't care how you spend this $290 million salary cap. Do whatever you want, because that's the limit you can do. Like, you can't go to her and ask, oh, hey, could we go over this cap amount by $30 million to make a $50 million tax bill for the team? Because this doesn't happen in the NFL. So she can just get out of the way and be like, I don't care what you do, John Snyder, just as long as you're not breaking any of the salary cap rules. So like, she just literally just puts a smart person in charge and lets him do his thing, and it makes billions of dollars. Like, it's like literally the easiest thing to do. And all the teams that have issues have an owner that meddles, or despite the system being set up to print money, they are cheap and don't even allow them to re-sign certain players if it's a certain amount or whatever, or in the case of Cincinnati Bengals, like mess with their draft picks and stuff like that. So I don't think there is an equivalent to being an NBA owner to being an NFL owner in terms of how good you are. I don't think that applies. Just because the Seahawks have had success, that means that she's a good owner for the NBA. So, but like, I'm also not saying she's like horrible or the worst owner ever. Like, it's been okay. Like, it's not like, it's been fine. I'm excited to have someone new. But all that to be said, we don't know if Tom Dundon is going to be willing to spend either. So like, we don't know that yet. But what a way to start off his ownership, by having this exciting team that could potentially have championship aspirations. So I think it's the best of both worlds, but I don't know.
Yeah, I just view it a bit differently. I don't think it's Jody's call to approve this type of trade, given that the finances would fall with Tom Dundon and that's who she's selling to. I think that decision gets put to him.
Well, he can't legally make the decision fully.
Yeah,
they
but
can
I think
run
they
it by him.
defer to. I think the last thing you want to do is like you try to get the sale over the finish line, and then like you basically go against the buyer's wishes with like the finances that he's inheriting through the
that's
sale.
What I'm saying. I'm saying he would approve it.
I don't know if he would. I don't know if he's going to be a tax-paying owner. I think it might be a similar. I think it might be a similar problem. Yeah. Like we've heard a lot of stuff about like he's not the richest guy.
I mean, they could do it without going in the tax, though. Like
yeah. I mean, but I don't think they have to be a tax-paying team, but that is one of my worries with Dundon.
Right, and we know he's not. He's already like trying to find funding and stuff. So like we know he's not the. But I mean. So my thing is, like what I'm saying is Jody doesn't have to be the final sayer, but she can claim credit for it because she is technically still the owner.
I just don't know.
But also Dundon can come in and then claim that he was the one who approved it too,
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if Jody cares to claim credit for it. Like, honestly. Yeah. I mean, it's not like she's active in terms of talking about the team or anything. Like, she's kind of behind closed doors, runs the team, like a little bit hands off. It's a lot Burt Cold, right? And maybe Burt Cold would want the credit, but I just don't see her as like viewing it that way. I think she's probably like at the point where she
could say this is what my brother would have done,
Yeah, maybe, but I mean, her brother wanted her to sell the team. Did her brother want her to sell the team faster? Like I don't know. I just don't see her as like caring about if Blazer fans give her credit for doing something on her way out. She has stupid money, so
yeah. I mean, she is a human. But the other thing is, I lost my train of thought for a second. I completely lost what I was saying. Sorry.
Because, I mean, she might know, like, okay, Cronin's going to get the credit. You know? Like, Cronin's going to get the credit for doing the Dame trade and then getting Dame back and then using the Dame trade he did to also get Giannis. And at the end of the day, it's like he traded nothing and got Dame and Giannis and Denny. You know what I mean?
But she also wouldn't. So if that's the case, she wouldn't stand in the way of this trade either.
Yeah, well, I think the decision just goes. I think it's a Tom Dundon decision.
Yeah,
I think that's where it gets
but
deferred to.
For the record, in the CBA, it is illegal for him to make that decision or be the final sayer of that. It technically has to be Jody Snow.
That feels like a tampering type.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. So we do know that Dundon is going to ask for some sort of financial help with renovating Moda Center.
Yep.
And that could be as simple as there was a thing approved. It's already approved for a baseball stadium if that ever happens. So maybe he finds a way to, if the baseball stadium doesn't ever happen, to basically just change that bill to be going towards the Moda Center instead. But if you're talking about current situation for the Blazers as a rebuilding kind of mediocre team that we're hoping takes a jump eventually with the young roster versus the excitement and buzz around making a huge splash like that, I think if you got Giannis, it would generate a little bit more buzz. I'm not saying it pushes a deal over the top or not, but it would be easier to get that funding maybe if the team was like a championship contender type team.
Well, yeah, but that's dependent upon him extending. Because like they're probably not going to come to a decision on that funding before the summer of 2027, right? Like that's not.
Yeah, maybe not.
So that's the thing is like if he then leaves, then that might be the first time I worry about relocation. Like, you know, like if he can't get that pushed through and Giannis just left and like there is downside there. So, you know, like, which is kind of interesting. It puts Giannis in a position like, do you want to save basketball in Portland? Not to say it wouldn't get through if he left, but like that's where, yeah, if they were going to come to a decision the next year and a half, sure, but it's almost the safer play to actually not do the trade and continue to build and like build the excitement to the point when they're making the decision around the time when those Bucks picks actually come into play, right? So I don't know. I don't know when a decision would come, though. I think it just kind of depends on the timing of that.
Mm-hmm.
Fentress was saying Giannis when we were signing her. What does Sorry, but what does Fentress know about Giannis, man? He doesn't even cover the team anymore. Like, I don't know. That's the word right now is Giannis wouldn't resign here. But, yeah, that's probably what he's saying because he wants to go other places. But if it comes down to it around the trade deadline and those other places aren't going to work out, like, can you make it work? And if I'm Portland, like, if you can bring him in and you're a true contender and he's going to make a lot more money off an extension and he's had some injury issues and he's going to be 33 when he signs his 4-year max extension, like, he'd have to leave money on the table to leave to go somewhere else that might not be as good as Portland. Is he actually going to do that?
I mean, it's also a case of, things could go terribly wrong. And of course, then you could say, oh, see, he was never resigning here. But it could also be, it could go well. Like we could make a playoff run and he could absolutely stay.
Yeah. Yep. Shams was just on ESPN, still not mentioned Portland most strongest suitors. I don't trust ESPN's coverage of this at all. I don't. Windhorse has been touting the Warriors package as like a great package, which is just BS. I don't know. I don't know. I'll be pissed if he gets traded for the Warriors package, though. But yeah, I don't really understand why he wouldn't want to come to Portland. So some people will be like, duh, it's Portland, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, it's a great basketball situation with guys that he's tight with, has enjoyed playing with. So I don't know. Like, location, I guess, matters that much to him, huh? But he'd maybe be willing to go to Minnesota. Speaking of a team that doesn't have a package for him, Minnesota. If they're being if Minnesota's being talked about as a strong suitor, what are we doing? What do they have to trade? They have like no picks, Jaden McDaniels and Julius Randle. That's gonna be your Julius Randle and Jaden McDaniels is going to be your Giannis package. Questionable. Questionable. Anything else on the trade deadline that you want to get into here? Like, what do you expect from Portland?
Well, I mean,
I
everyone
really
is saying everyone is saying this, and I think it's been pretty clear for a while that they really like Caleb Love and City Sissoko. I think they want to have those players on the actual roster so they can tout them as success stories that they discovered or whatever. And so I think, I mean, you talked about last stream. You think the best move might be like not making any trades at this deadline. But I think at the very least they're gonna free up at least one more roster spot.
Trades.
Yeah.
I mean, like this is better than not doing anything.
Yeah.
The
sure.
Crerache trade, right? But like, just kind of like in a vacuum, they don't have to do anything drastic. And it was kind of in regards to the context around the Bucks picks too, like, or trading future first. Like moves around the fringes, completely fine. Like moving guys to sign those two to roster spots, completely fine. Like there is aggressive moves that could make some sense, but they don't. They can be patient. Do we need a Jaden McDaniels type? With the way our defenses look lately, with the way Tabati's taking a step back, you know? Would you trade a Bucks pick for Jaden McDaniels?
We're getting Mikal Bridges. His nameplate was taken off his locker or something, and then Drew Holiday.
Even though in this very side of the picture, you could see 25 on the nameplate.
I know. I'm just...
Yeah. People love their conspiracy theories this time of year. But, yeah, we traded for Crerache, man.
I'm responding to that. I know you're probably going to beat me to it, but I'm responding. I found that Keith Smith thing, not a picture form of it, the actual reply. So I'm replying to that.
Oh, I mean, I was just going to ask.
Yeah.
More direct.
No, we should all definitely, anyone who has access to, what's his name, Trevor Lane?
Yeah, Trevor. I mean,
anyone who has access to Trevor should ask as well. Yeah,
that's one of our guys. So, yeah. Anything else you want to get into?
Thanks everyone for watching. We'll of course talk about any big Blazer trades that happen over the next 4 days. But hopefully the next time we talk to you on Tuesday night, we'll be discussing a Blazers victory because we need a victory very badly.
Yeah, who knows who the hell plays in that game? Could Crerache play? Could Scoop play? Could Denny play? Or All-Star?
Also, yeah, congrats to Denny for making the All-Star. I think it's well deserved, and I'm happy he made it. I don't think there was any doubt. I know he's getting a lot of crap. There's a lot of people that are saying that what's his name? Kawhi Leonard should have deserved it over him, but
not over Denny, man.
Yeah,
like you could say over Chet. Like Denny wasn't the last, shouldn't have been the last All-Star picked. So people can cry about Denny. That's completely fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Shams keeps saying the Heat, Timberwolves, Warriors, and Knicks remain the most aggressive suitors. It's just like, how do the Timberwolves get it done? The Knicks package isn't that good. It's, yeah. I'll be annoyed if he goes to the Heat. I would love to swoop the Heat for him.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're out of here. Have a good rest of your guys' night. We'll be live again on Tuesday. That will be a late live stream, I guess, huh? Is that still an 8 p.m. tip-off time, or did they move it up?
I think they moved that one up. I think that's the one they changed.
Let me look.
To 7, but I'm not 100% sure because some of the sites say different times.
I'll look on ESPN, right? We can trust ESPN with everything. ESPN still says 8 p.m., so maybe they're fine with that since there's not going to be any Devin Booker. So hopefully we can get a win, man. I'm tired of losing. I'm getting sick and tired of losing. We'll see who plays. You could have a lineup that includes Blake Wesley, Scoot Henderson, Denny Avdia, Vic Krejci.
Oh, we didn't do Tankathon real quick.
Oh yeah, we gotta do Tankathon. I almost knocked over my drink. That would have been bad. That's what we were forgetting. I knew I was forgetting something. Let me can Tankathon load. Hello. The good news is it's never too late to tank. Although Tankathon needs to load. There we go.
By the way, the Hawks did announce the trade on social media, so usually that's not announced until it's official.
Yeah.
And so I fully expect Krejci to play on Tuesday.
Yeah, so basically, hey, if you get the ball, shoot it.
Yeah, just go stand in the corner and shoot a bunch of threes.
Yeah, that's our system. That's our system. You'll have fun.
Oh, wait, we run this stupid 3-2 zone. You'll just be standing here and you'll be out of position every play and it'll get destroyed. It's no different than without you here. So, yeah, just go stand in a spot and just pretend like you're playing defense because it doesn't work anyway. But we're going to continue to run it.
Yeah, if you're confused, just think of a normal 2-3 zone, but upside down. That's all you need.
It doesn't guard anyone.
Yeah. When you see Donovan Clingan try to run out at a corner shooter, don't question it. Don't question it. Alrighty. Portland, 11th best odds, man. We're right back where we began last year. So, we're only a game behind 10th best odds, and we're only 3.5 games behind 7th best odds. Can we do it?
Did you see who snuck into first? Well, no one was looking.
Sacramento.
Yes, the Kings are now the worst team in the league.
Kings, man. Look at the Kings. All right.
But don't worry, they got DeAndre Hunter coming.
Yeah. Funny trade. 14 Chicago, 13 OKC via the Clippers. Hey, we're better than the Clippers picked OKC. Let's go. Finally. That's all we've been hoping for, right? At 12, San Antonio via Atlanta. We're better than San Antonio as well. At 11, the Portland Trailblazers At 10, Charlotte. At 9, Dallas. At 8, Milwaukee. At 7, Memphis. At 6, Utah. And at 5 is Brooklyn, moving down a single spot. At 4 is Sacramento. At 3 is Atlanta v. New Orleans. At 2 is Washington. And at 1 is the Indiana Pacers. That's so boring. We're going to do it again and see OKC in the top 4.
No, you're not allowed to do it anymore after last time.
I really want to see OKC top 4 there. All right, that's Tankathon. That is Tankathon. Anyway.
All right, have a good night, everyone. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, if we lose again Tuesday, although it's a very late stream, I don't know if we'll have time for a mock draft. We'll see. I promised it, but maybe we do it on the next stream.
I was thinking about that too with the trade deadline. Yeah.
Yeah, with the trade deadline too. Yeah, probably best not to do it then.
There's probably going to be rumors.
Maybe Friday, we'll see what picks, see what the situation is. Yeah, that'll be a fun thing to do on Friday or Saturday this weekend. So that's the plan. If we lose tomorrow, we might just do it regardless. We'll see. We need to do some draft stuff. So maybe Saturday. Maybe college basketball Saturday. Yeah, maybe Saturday is the right day to do it. Anyway, we're out of here. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your night. The Blazers lose again. They can't stop losing, and it's pissing me off. I'm tired of losing. It sucks. 5 losses in a row. I got used to winning, man. Why did they bring me in just to spit me out, It's gross.
Good question.
It's gross. But
you jinxed it by saying.
But I keep saying they suck, and it's not fixing it, man.
You can't put that back in the bottle.
No. My powers were going towards Crerache being a Portland Trailblazer. I still need to get used to saying his name correctly, but that's where my jinx powers went. So maybe now that we have him, maybe now my jinx powers can go towards fixing this freaking basketball team since I got to do it all. But yeah, anyway, have a good rest of you guys tonight. Have a good week. We'll catch you again on Tuesday. And then that's the last game before the trade deadline. So the trade deadline's here. If we have another trade stream, we'll go live as soon as we possibly can, just like we did today, even though I was literally on the road. Well, not literally. I was in the car. Not driving. Some people got confused. Some people were worried. No, I don't drive and stream at the same time. But yeah, we're out here. Have a good rest of your guys' night. Until next time. As always, peace out. Go Blazers.